Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to KwingsLetsPlays, and this is it, the big one, the finale of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. The story, anyway. We still have the side stories that aren't very long, but
yeah.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified when more awesome videos arrive. And special shout out to... I already fixed the thing.
Are you sure? Because it's...
Yep. Yeah, I already finished it.
There's red in it.
And special shoutouts to Capcom for providing a copy of this game for review, walkthrough, and live streaming purposes. So, what's going on today is this is it. This is where we find out everything that has transpired over the course of the entire game.
Maybe our voice is just really loud.
It's called projection.
It looks like red on the thing.
Fine, I will prove it to you.
Oh, dear.
You were so obsessive.
Oh my gosh, how am I obsessive?
Because I saw that you were peaking and I changed your audio levels as soon as I came downstairs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright.
Wait, see? It says
Okay,
70.
okay. You're just louder than me. I'm ready to go. Let's go for it. Special thanks to Capcom for providing a copy of this game. Special thanks to Luke for doing 90% of the voices. Special thanks to me for doing Susato. Special thanks to all of our members and subscribers, Twitch members, and patrons. This is the finale! And subscribers! Thank you guys, and all our loyal viewers. You guys are breathtaking.
Okay, can I get on with it now? Alright, thank you. Can he actually do this? Can the trial really end now? Hold it!
Hold it! Kazuma.
I have one last question for the accused, Lord Van Zeeks. What do you want?
Thanks for the super chat, Ronan.
Of course I know what you're highly accomplished prosecutor. I know that you're. So I find it hard to believe that you didn't have any doubts at all. That you never suspected your older brother. Ooh. Yeah, the same thought occurred to me. It was only once, but yes, I couldn't say that I never had my doubts about my brother.
Thanks for the super chat. Ronan says it's time to finish this once and for all. Hype.
Yeah, but just a reminder, guys, that we do have the side stories, so this is the finale of the main story. My brother's sense of justice was extremely strong, perhaps too strong, I observed. At that time, there were members of the aristocracy who were bleeding the country dry from their own gain. And since they were nobles, they were untouchable. For my brother, it was a source of great turmoil. And coincidentally, at the time, the professor began his terrifying reign. During the time of the professor killings, my brother did not appear to be himself. And that made you suspect him? Yes. But it was only once, not more. Only once? Really? That's what I said. Clint wasn't the culprit. That was my conclusion at the time. And I still believe that now. Do you have any evidence to support that idea? The third victim was the Lord Chief Justice at the time. It was he who had recognized my brother's potential and trained him as a prosecutor. No matter what the circumstances, it's unthinkable that my brother could have killed his friend and mentor.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Whoa, maybe it wasn't all him. Maybe
know.
he did one of the killings or something.
I don't know. That will do.
What?
Neither Clint Van Zeeks nor Genshin Isogi still walk this earth. However, much we debate this matter now, we cannot hope to reach a conclusion. But...
Wait, what?
I'm not finished. There are only two exempt pieces of evidence from the time. The
Woebegone.
The Woebegone ring that acted as an incriminating evidence to the condemned Genshin Isogi, and the 3-page last will and testimony penned in black ink and left behind by the man. The wretched truth of what happened is exactly as I have explained. Is it now? Later today, I will present myself at the Ministry of Justice for whatever sanction is deemed appropriate. That is all. Court is adjourned.
Objection.
What? What are you doing? What are you doing, Ryunosuke? Thank you, Kazuma. Huh? Me? What for? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have made this 11th hour discovery.
Nani?
What discovery? My lord, I'm afraid I must insist the trial continues. I beg your pardon? As the court has been reminded of today already, we must stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth. And to that end, one particular statement made by somebody in this courtroom moments ago revealed a very subtle contradiction. What contradiction? But all I did was ask the accused one simple question. Right?
Well, it began with Lord Van Zeeks and his recollection about his brother. But Lord Strongheart didn't permit the defendant to speak at length at all.
I merely pointed out that we can draw no further useful conclusions here, so where on earth is the contradiction, eh? I'm getting to it. One of them definitely just said something contradictory. It's time to identify who. Maybe...
Well, Lord Strongheart said we can't... They're both dead, so we can't figure out what happened.
Let's try Lord Strongheart. Why not? It was Lord Strongheart, I'm sure of it. Something he said was slightly off. Come on, Ryunosuke, think back. His words, find the problem. Neither Clint Van Zeeks nor Genshin Isogi still walk this earth. Okay. However,
Wait.
much we debate this matter now, we cannot hope to reach a conclusion.
Wait, what? One of them is alive?
No.
Oh, okay, I got confused.
There are only two pieces of evidence from the time. The ring that acted as incriminating evidence to condemn Genshin Isogi, and the 3-page last will and testimony penned in black ink and left behind by the man.
Actually, there was one more piece of evidence. He held a red paper.
Lord Strongheart, would you care to explain? Explain what, Consul? Among the statements you made just a few moments ago, something you said was inconsistent with a certain piece of evidence we currently have. Inconsistent? Yeah, and whilst an inconsistency remains, the defense has a right to pursue an explanation. Ryunosuke, what? Let me warn you about statements you're making, Consul. They may very well prove fatal. You may claim my words contained a contradiction. With what piece of evidence? That's a good question. Wait a second. He said 3 pieces of the condemned's will. There's only 2 pieces of the Isogi papers here in our collection. He has the originals.
Oh my gosh. 3 pages.
He said 3! This here is the will left behind by Mr. Isogi.
Sorry.
The 2-paged will. What? Moments ago, your precise words were... the 3-page will and testimony. Wow, that's a terrible impression, Ryunosuke. Shut up, Kazuma! Could it be that originally there was a 3rd page? For a moment, I thought perhaps you identified something worthwhile, but it's mere trifle I see. A trifle? Yes! Governor Caden! Eh? What is it, sir? You were present when the Japanese man penned his last will and testimony. I was there for sure. I remember the black scrolls on that day, yes. And I'm quite certain, my lord, that there was a 3rd page at the time.
Oh wow.
What? What? Only the first 2 pages were actually the will, though. If I remember correctly, the 3rd was a message to his lad back in Japan. For legal purposes, we required only his will. And we could have any wanted uncomfortable words about Britain to go back to Japan, eh? So, it was decided that the third page ought to be sent?
Objection!
Why didn't he...
How dare you make that decision? I had a right to know what it said, to hear my father's final words to me! The courtroom is no place for sentimentality, counsel.
Wow.
As it happens, I have the third page of the document with me right here.
Oh my gosh!
My father's message! It will be given to you at the end of these proceedings. It'll be too late once the trial's over. We need to know what it says now. Even the slightest thing may give us a vital clue. My lord, the defense calls for Genshin Asogi's last will to his son to be read out loud before the court now. Your request is denied. The inevitability of those words can be of no consequence now.
Objection!
Objection! The prosecution agrees. The court should know the content of that message. Every possible piece of evidence must be thoroughly examined. Very well, then. Governor Caden, you will read the third page of the document for all present to hear. Yes, sir! Only, I should point out, my lord, that I can't actually read the language. This beautiful handwriting. Shame on you, Barry. Who's Barry?
You will read it.
Sorry. If I could be of assistance, I would be happy to translate the words into English for the court.
Father!
You're still here, are you, Dr. Mikotoba? Naturally, yes. I consider myself a member of the judiciary, a bit lowly one. But perhaps I should quietly withdraw after I've translated Genshin's message. Your cooperation is much appreciated. No problem. Dun, 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 dun. Kazuma, the truth is shrouded in darkness. A darkness only our clan's great sword can pierce. Mighty Kuruma, twist the head and watch them fall, all thy mortal foes.
Oh my gosh. Twist the head of his sword.
That's the end of the message, it would seem. The sword.
Twist the head and watch
the top
them
of the
fall.
sword. The top of the sword is the, it is. A haiku, a poem? Twist thy head? Father.
Twist the head.
What is Kuruma? The name of the Asogi clan's famous sword. A razor-sharp blade known to all, passed down for generations. It embodies the Japanese spirit of a samurai.
Twist the head.
It is not known to me. It's the katana sword that was submitted as evidence earlier in these proceedings. The one worn by the prosecution's counsel when he confronted Inspector Gregson. The details of the Asogi papers have been updated in the court record.
Twist the head and watch them fall, all thy foes.
All these, procrastinations are beginning to try my patience. Adjournment of this court is long overdue. As a proceeding judge, I have been accommodating as possible for the will of this courtroom. However, despite all that, no new information has come to light.
He had to make a cryptic message that only Kazuma would be able to understand.
Yep.
Twist the head of his sword. Kazuma, twist the head of your sword.
In pursuit of justice, Lord Clint Van Zeeks tragically lost all sense of morality. When he murdered his former mentor, clearly he was already devoid of his normal faculties.
Objection!
I don't think Clint was really the real Reaper. I think he might have been in on it, but I think the Chief Justice is the real Reaper. Always has been. How dare you! I refuse to believe that of my brother! Too much time has passed. We cannot ever hope to know any more than we do now. Especially since the alleged will that he penned in his final moments appears to have been lost forever. Ah! Lord Strongheart, you appear to be in something of a hurry to wrap things up. I wonder why. We've heard your state time and time again during these proceedings that everything you did was in the interest of protecting British law and order. And I stand by that, yes. Without the Reaper, we could never have achieved the reduction in crime the capital has seen.
Objection!
That's enough. What about Inspector Gregson, then? What about him? And Dr. Wilson. They were no criminals. You used them to achieve your ends, and then you had them killed. However you dress it up, there was nothing fair just for that. Lord Strongheart, what exactly is that you're hiding, eh? Dr. Mikotoba, were you not quietly withdrawn after the translation of your former associate's will?
Apparently not.
In this courtroom, no argument carries weight unless it is supported by evidence. And it would seem that the defense has no more evidence to present. In which case, I hereby order all discourse from these proceedings to be struck from the record.
What in...
This is my last chance.
Mr. Naruhodo!
Huh, what is it? I have to present some decisive evidence now, or it's all over. But can I?
Present evidence!
The sword! The sword!
Twist the head of the sword!
Wait a second, my lord.
Twist it.
As it happens, the defense does have the evidence to present. What? Don't be absurd! There's nothing of relevance remaining from the time.
Objection!
There is! It is high time that you realize something, my lord. What? This gentleman has an uncanny habit of producing evidence at the final hour that had escaped everyone else's attention.
Whoa!
Nonsense.
Ben Zeke stood up for you?
What is it, Ryunosuke? What do you have?
Your sword, Kazuma! Your sword!
I dare say, the final decisive piece of evidence that will reveal the whole truth about this rotten story. How? How can you? Decisive? Well, it would appear that there's no escaping it now, my lord. Oh, thank you for becoming a member!
Thanks, Caleb! Hero
Let
light.
it be so, then. Present whatever you may think you have that can settle this decade-old enigma, if you're so capable of. What exactly is this evidence that the defense claims to be so decisive? The sword!
Take that!
What did I say, Consul? If you're capable of were my words. Ah! But it's the sword! And this evidence clearly demonstrates you're not capable of only destroying your own argument. But it's the sword! Come on, Ryunosuke! We know that Asogi-san negotiated with Lord Strongheart 10 years ago, using the last will and testimony of Lord Van Clint.
And yet, after his death, the document couldn't be found in his cell at the prison. I wonder where it went.
So does the fact that it was never found mean? Could it be hidden somewhere? Undiscovered after all these years? It's in the sword. My lord, the defense does have that evidence, and I'm ready to present it this time for reals. Well, it seems you're intent on more self-destruction.
You have to examine the sword.
Let it be so, then. Present whatever you think you have, and settle this decade-old enigma.
Examine.
Okay. What exactly is this evidence?
You're gonna do the examine.
I'm gonna do the examine.
Yes. The top.
Mighty Kuroma, twist thy head and watch them fall, all thy mortal foes. That's the proper way to use the sword, is it? Maybe I should try it. It hurts my neck, that's the trouble.
Mr. Naruhodo, if I might make a suggestion, I think perhaps it doesn't mean your head.
Oh!
Once I studied the history and development of the katana some time ago, I'm sure you're probably aware, the sword's head is the part at the very end of the hilt. Oh. It's written as head in Japanese, but it's pronounced kashira, I believe.
Oh, Kashira? So Mr. Asogi's words really mean twist the butt of the hilt. You don't think?
Oh, that little place.
Oh!
Ah!
Look what's inside!
Is that a tightly wound sheet of parchment?
Oh, scarlet ink! It's written in scarlet ink! I pen this, my last will and testament, in the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. This is it, isn't it?
Mr. Naruhodo, look at the signature at the end.
Clint Van Zeeks! And the date! 10 years ago, on the fateful night!
So for 10 years, it's been silently concealed inside Karama, and nobody knew. I mean, Karama, the last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zeeks.
Wait. Oh my goodness! Look at this! This is unbelievable! Well, tell us! Tell us what it says, Ryunosuke! Boom!
What does it say?
There is a single piece of evidence that can clarify what really happened 10 years ago.
The last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zeeks!
Ha! A wonderfully astute observation, I'm sure. But in case it had escaped your notice, that document was lost long ago. That's right, it was. Only... I have it right here, discovered just moments ago. What? My brother! Ah! Impossible! That can't be! Everything that's happened comes back to this will. This document is the key that will unlock the entire mystery of the Hound of the Baskervilles.
That's right, Caleb. Karma is coming for him.
My brother's last will and testimony. Where did you find it? It was rolled up inside this. Inside Kuroma? The ultimate weapon Genshin Asogi attained has lain undisturbed in the hilt of the sword all these years, just waiting for the right time to emerge and reveal the truth! Ah, so the signature and seal certainly look official.
Oh my gosh.
My god, it's true. It's my brother's handwriting. There can be no mistake.
Oh my gosh.
I forbid the contents of that document from being read out. Do you hear me? I strictly forbid it.
Objection.
Too bad, so sad. You can't do that, my lord. This document could explain everything. The document could literally destroy the meaning of justice in Great Britain. I demand that you hand it to me at once! Why? What are you trying to hide exactly? What? You look awfully disturbed. Could it be that you already know what's written on this page? No, what are you implying? Court is adjourned with immediate effect. Clear the courtroom now!
Objection.
Objection!
I think not! Do that, my lord.
That's right, oh wait,
And
it's
you'll
over.
suffer a fatal blow of the Lord Chief Justice. I beg your pardon. Forcibly ending a trial without good reason, and not any trial, a closed trial by the order of Her Majesty the Queen. To defy the monarch's will is treason!
Whoa!
Oh.
Read it. Have Clint read it.
Lord Van Cleek, he really did pen it. It's exactly as the young Japanese man said.
Read it out! No! Read it! we have a
to
right
hear
to hear
it.
what's in the will,
Read
right?
the will, old man. Well, my lord. It would rather appear as though the proceedings aren't going to be quite as you had hoped. You fools! Go ahead, Ryunosuke. Read it! The prosecution gives its full support. Very well, then. No. For God's sake. No!
Judge abuse caught on court cam.
Yep.
Definitely total spies.
I pen this, my last will and testimony, in the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. The hour is 11 p.m. and I sit at my desk writing in my office. My good friend Asogi stands at my shoulder. He has expressed his intent to invoke the dying ritual of the duel, that I may depart this world with honor. An honor of which I am utterly undeserving. The Japanese are truly merciful people. I, Clint Van Zieks, Lord of the Manor of the Van Zieks Estate, hereby confess to the following. I am the killer who has come to be known in society as the Professor, guilty of 4 counts of murder. I will not here discourse the corruption rifle among the aristocracy, which is to me as one of them so apparent. However, 6 months ago, I took the life of a member of the House of Lords at the heart of depravity, a demon who habitually sacrificed the common man to further his own interest, abusing his position of power. The law is impotent against such vile bad guys. Only a fellow demon can rid society of this menace. That demon was my puppy, upon whom I willingly set my great hound. But though I am a hunter of some experience, I am a poor felon, it seems. My guilt was at once recognized by another, and I became subject to his extortion. He held everything over me, the threat of exposing my wicked crime to my beloved wife and brother. Under that threat, I have done this man's bidding for months now, killing those he deemed I killed. As I watched my former mentor perish before my eyes, at the jaws of the hound I commanded,
He made him kill people.
I realized that I had lost the last shred of decency within me and sunk to a level of a wild beast.
So the Lord Strongheart was forcing him to kill.
There is no path back to light, be it I or my dear friend Asogi who dies this night. I'm entirely damned.
Wow.
To my extortioner, Mal Strongheart, may you feel the jaws of the beast at your throat every time you swallow. Whoa!
He forced him to kill.
Wow, dude.
That's so messed up.
So, now we know, yes, Clint Van Zieks was a murderer, but somebody else was directing him and naming his victims. His extortioner, Lord Mal Strongheart. It was you, the real Reaper! Lord Strongheart, a moment ago, you claimed that the court was just heard could destroy justice in this country. But you weren't trying to protect justice at all. All you were trying to do was conceal the secret of your true nature and the countless lives you've sacrificed up till now. It just didn't make sense to me that the third victim, the former Lord Chief Justice, was my brother's benefactor and a man of lofty principles. As I said, Clint had no possible reason to kill the man. But you did, didn't you, Lord Strongheart? To eliminate the man who stood between you and the office you'd set your sights on. You used your own hunting dog, Lord Clint, to take him down. It had to be done. What? London's unsavory shadows are deep, and the arm of the law fails to reach their depths. Crime must be cut off at the roots, but the Lord Chief Justice at the time couldn't see that. He was weak. Lofty principles, you say? Ha! Tantamount cowardice, if you ask me.
Oh my gosh.
Which is why I took his place.
Oh my gosh!
In order to fight the crime he was allowing to spread like a wildfire in London.
Oh my gosh.
By murdering the man.
He took his place and then took his job.
The Reaper, the Professor, names make no difference. As I've explained countless times already, it was all done for the furtherance of law and order in London.
Objection!
Are you going to legitimate the murder of my father now, too? Ah, Genshin Asogi. Well, that was most unfortunate. I had truly intended to send him back to Japan, as we'd agreed. I don't believe you. It was you, wasn't it? You killed my father! No, it wasn't me who took your father's life. Then who? On the night following his mock execution, I went to Logate Cemetery at 3 in the morning with Jaku. Judge Goku? They had a collaborator on the Japanese side to manage Asogi's testimony and his reparations. Jikoku had a fierce ambition. It made him easy to manipulate.
Oh my gosh, Judge Goku killed him.
10 years ago, after he stood trial for the destruction of the witness stand, I had words with him. When I told him the position of Minister of Foreign Affairs could be his, he couldn't agree fast enough.
Oh my gosh.
Shishiro, you fool. As you know, Mr. Asogi escaped the prison in a closed casket and was subsequently interred. We intended to dig him out of his grave before he ran out of air. But sadly, all did not go as planned.
Oh my gosh.
There was an unexpected visitor to the cemetery with his own ideas about digging up graves. A man who witnessed what nobody was supposed to see. Drebber. Of course, I knew grave robbers frequented London's cemeteries. But that grave on that particular night... Blast, if people find out the convict wasn't really executed, the scandal will rock the very foundations of the Empire. Then, what do? Shoot him, Mr. Goku! Shoot Asogi at once! He can't live now. This happened. He has to go. What are you talking about? We had an agreement. He's my friend! You promised him he could return to Japan! Everything has changed now. If the truth gets out about this, well, both of us would be finished. Forever.
You should have just silenced the other guy. Gave him money to be quiet.
Come, Goku. Do it. Pull the trigger. Shoot! Wow.
So Judge Goku killed
two people. Gregson and the father. Jigoku shot Asogi from the shadows. The grave robber was so close, the blood sprayed all over his coat. He fled as fast as his legs would carry him.
And then nobody believed him.
Then Goku and I put Asogi's body back in the grave for which he had just emerged. Wow. Then, I later learnt of the waxwork modeler's presence at the scene as well. I made her swear to 2 things. Never to remove the professor's mask, and never to speak of the events of that night. And with that, the secret was buried along with Asogi's corpse. So, now you know what really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night.
You told people to murder everyone.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Well, nobody is there.
It was Jikoku, your Japanese acquaintance, who killed Asogi in the end, you see? He claimed to be the man's friend, but when push came to shove, he pulled the trigger.
That's because you ordered him to.
Just before Mr. Goku left the courtroom earlier, he said that the assassin exchange proposal was a demand from the British counterpart, not a request. So you coerced him too, using what happened in the graveyard. By that time, Jigoku was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, negotiating international treaties with Britain. You can imagine what would have happened if it came to light he'd murdered a compatriot 10 years earlier. He would have lost everything. I merely reminded him of that. How do you sleep at night? Very comfortably on my bed, thank you. These past 10 years, I've found tirelessly with the darker recesses of London's criminal underworld, and I've used whatever means necessary to ensure that justice prevails and law and order reigns supreme.
But isn't he killed more people than all the criminals combined?
That couldn't be further from the truth, murderer. The fact is, you haven't fought crime at all. How dare you?
You committed it!
I saved Clint from dishonor in his death.
Objection.
Whatever.
Whilst behind the scenes, you systematically buried anyone who stood in your way. And then, you made my father take the blame. It was unavoidable. It was the only way to protect our justice system and the public order. Let's not forget the others you killed as well. Setting the defendant up as the Reaper to cover up the truth behind the murders of countless many more. That's enough! Do you have any idea of the conniving that led to the acquittals of those wretched criminals.
It doesn't matter.
We have to fight fire with fire. Our courts can't function without a Reaper. Can't you all see I've done for this country? This has been my struggle.
Objection.
You've done nothing. It's Lord Van Zeeks who worked tirelessly to justly in court, whilst enduring the disgrace of the Reaper name.
Yep.
And Inspector Gregson, fraught with anguish for having sullied his hands through a desire to do the right thing. Not to mention Genshin Asogi, who risked his life going in pursuit of the truth you tried to hide. No, the darker recesses of London's underworld were largely filled by you! You little... When will you get it through your thick skulls? That it was all for Queen and country? I'm tiring of that excuse, sir. You've consistently twisted the truth from the bargaining power to make others do your bidding, nothing more. People who willingly twist the truth and coerce others have no right to call themselves part of the judiciary. I strongly suggest you don't ever talk of justice again!
He should be going...
Yell.
I mean, who's gonna put him in prison, though, since he's a Chief
I don't
Justice?
know. Maybe Van Zeeks will. Maybe Van Zeeks will get appointed as the new Chief Justice.
But who will disappoint him? Like, who will unappoint him?
Okay.
Queen?
Why is he clapping? This guy's insane. Well, 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 dear me, my good fellows, dear me. A well-deserved round of applause, I think, for a quite marvelous performance. What are you talking about? Those delightfully grave expressions of beautifully pronounced Queen's English? Really, our friends from the Far East are quite the picture of... I don't know what to say.
Industriousness.
You fraud! Keep your mockery! Please, don't misunderstand. It really is exactly as you both have said. What are you trying to say? I have occupied the darker recesses of London's underworld and, how you put it, done nothing. I confess it's a little embarrassing to have it pointed out quite so starkly, but yes, I really have done nothing, which means I can't be indicted for nothing, no. What? There! It's true. Personally, I've committed no crime. I've merely been surrounded by fools who've acted very rashly indeed.
Objection.
If you tell someone to murder someone, though...
You can't get away with that! You've consistently preyed on people's weaknesses! And what? Threatened them? Are you sure it wasn't just bargaining?
Sorry.
I would like to address all the good lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the judiciary here present. You all know of these darker recesses in our great capital, and deep down, I believe you also know that to fight those who dwell, there requires at least some of us to occupy the darkness ourselves. What? You can't be serious. So let me appeal to your good sense now. Consider the situation with me. If this catalog of horrifying revelations were to become common knowledge among the 6 million inhabitants of London, what might happen?
Why would it need to happen? You could just go to jail and...
To learn that infamous murderer of royals and nobles was a respected member of the aristocracy himself. That evidence was fabricated in the scapegoat's trial amid secret negotiations with prosecutors to effect a jailbreak. That the Reaper the Bailey was an organized group of assassins managed by Scotland Yard's inspector. And finally, that it was all masterminded by the Lord Chief Justice himself. If the general public of Britain knew the truth, all faith in the police and the prosecutor's office would become completely lost, without a doubt.
You don't have to know the truth, though.
Public order in the capital would completely break down. We'd be cast back to lawless days of the last century. Precisely. as it was 100 years ago, when no one in 10 of the population were criminals. 1 in 10. Holy cow.
Yeah, right.
No, it's probably true. Think what would have accompanied since then. Think what we've accomplished since then. A public police force, a comprehensive set of laws. And if we want to continue to protect this new era of law and order, I say again, we must at times occupy the darkness ourselves.
That's insane.
We have successfully identified and apprehended the man responsible for taking Inspector Gregson's life. That is all that was expected of this trial. All other matters have been discussed. Will be eliminated from the minutes of these proceedings in the interest of preserving law and order. And to protect Her Majesty the Queen, of course. Well, my lords and ladies, what say you? Wait, so Van Zeeks would... What? He'd still go down, or he wouldn't?
He has a point. Things Lord Strongheart has done is quite unforgivable, though.
But on the other hand, this is our duty to maintain peace in the capital.
You can't deny that the threat of the Reaper over the years has done wonders for the crime rate.
And by means of or foul, all thanks to Lord Strongheart. Strongheart.
Holy cow, they're all corrupt! Are you hearing this, Susie? Is this the will of the British judiciary? For your rousing response, friends, I express my heartfelt gratitude. Therefore, in accordance with the overwhelming wishes of the court, the record shall be erased. You have to respect the man's ability to turn a situation to his favor. Lord Strongheart really is a master of manipulation.
You've conclusively proven his guilt. Yet still he managed to evade justice. I don't know what we can do.
Ryunosuke. It looks like the trial really is going to come to an end now. I'm almost out of options, I think. There's really only one path left open to me now. Oh my gosh, the chanting is terrifying. Alright, I need a sip of my drink before I continue. Oh my gosh.
Didn't he kill that one judge with his own dog, though?
And, ladies and gentlemen watching the stream, only 90 of you have liked, and there's 200 watching. Let's get those likes up for the finale. Let's go!
Let's try to get it to 150 likes, guys.
You guys can easily get it to 150. I want to see that.
Use the Mr. Bunny, people say.
We're going to use evidence. I need to keep drinking because I've been talking for quite a bit.
But he did use his own dog to kill that one... The only crime that one judge committed was being quote-unquote too weak. He actually didn't commit a crime. He said that he took down criminals, but the one judge he replaced didn't commit any crimes. He just felt he was too weak. He didn't commit a single crime. He didn't do anything wrong.
Alright, here we go. We're gonna use evidence! Whew. Yes, as I know only too well, the only thing that carries any weight in court is evidence.
But Mr. Naruhodou! What evidence is there to use at this stage in the trial? Thanks for the super chat!
Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the 140 likes. Well done, guys. Keep it up.
Thanks, Nightwing Alex. You're breathtaking.
I
Alright.
I have an idea, Susie. I don't know whether anything will come of it, but if there was ever a time for using this particular item we have among it now, it's the Lucky Rabbit.
The bunny!
Take that!
Oh my! Yes! Mr. Sholmes asked if you had that with you earlier.
We've exposed all of Lord Strongheart's wrongdoings now. I've no doubt that Mr. Sholmes had already deduced exactly how the truth would unfurl. Watch him being sitting next to the Queen of London or something.
And like her hearing
Yep.
everything.
So, I think it must be time for the great detective to take center stage, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. Let's take the hair by the ears then and heave!
Alright, here goes. Heave! Ow, 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 ow. My dear fellows, must I remind you every time a gentle tug will suffice. Mr. Sholmes, you're looking in quite the wrong direction, Mr. Naruhodo, because I'm over here.
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo,
It's Mr. Sholmes! Wait, how is he? He's invisible.
he's using a hologram maybe.
I wasn't expecting you back, Sholmes. Delighted to be here again, Lord Strongheart. What is the meaning of this? Bailiff, seize him, put that man in irons. This is a closed court. You've been warned once already, man. What? We can't get hold of him, my lord. We just keep going through him. He's dancing. Oh my gosh, Sholmes.
He's dancing. Dancing.
I'm afraid your efforts are wasted, you see. The great detective you see before you is composed entirely of light and shadow. An image, if you will.
Hologram.
Mr. Naruhodo, I must congratulate you on your fine deductions. Mr. Sholmes, what on earth is going on? Are you familiar, I wonder, with an invention known as the telephone? Well, yeah, I hear that some public telephones have been installed recently in Tokyo, too. The sound of the speaker's voice is converted to an electrical signal and transmitted instantly to another place. Quite. Sounds are transmitted, so could not images keep them company, I mused? Iris and I did some modest experimentation to develop such a device specifically for this very day. A modest experimentation?
Oh, what a modest description!
And somehow, incidentally, I thought we might as well transmit the entire scene. Somewhat incidentally, Mr. Sholmes? Now, you're just being immodest. Do you mean to say you're not actually here, Sholmes? Ah, I knew my trusty partner would have no trouble grasping the concept. Except he's grasping the stand, to steady himself after you shocked during arrival.
Poor father. I would have hoped he might have been forewarned, being the great detective's great partner.
Leave my courtroom at once. Get out, I swear to you.
Dear me, you're on the other hand, Long Strongheart, appear to be very poor grasp of the situation. Allow me to reiterate, I'm not here, which would I hope lead naturally to one asking, where exactly are you? Ah, very good question I was waiting for. He's with the Queen. I'm at present enjoying the air in a rather splendid garden. Garden? Not just any garden, you understand. A garden at Buckingham Palace.
What? You can't be Buckingham Palace.
What Buckingham Palace, Miss Susie? I've never heard of that.
Do you ever read the news, Mr. Naruhodo? Come on!
Mr. Sholmes, is Iris with you there? Ah, well, now, Iris is currently enjoying some tea. With Her Majesty.
Her Majesty?
Not just any Her Majesty, you understand? Her Majesty, the Queen of the British Empire.
What? What?
Uh-oh.
You're done, Strongheart. Bye-bye.
It's over!
What on earth is this all about, Sholmes?
Buckingham Palace is Her Majesty the Queen's residence in London, Mr. Naruhodo.
Order! Order in the court! I demand immediate silence!
We got 150 likes! Thank you, guys! You're awesome!
Her Majesty the Queen? You can't mean no!
Alright, guys, let's get it up to 170. Let's go!
This is some sort of unforgivably distasteful trickery by a third-rate detective, that's all!
Unforgivably distasteful trickery? What an apt description.
A closed court session attended by elite members of the judiciary is a rare event. I presumed Her Majesty would be more than a little curious about the proceedings. So I decided to show her everything from the start to finish. You showed her? Indeed.
Oh my gosh.
By dint of Herlock Sholmes' remote cinematography. You meddling.
This is some kind of nightmare.
Just as I appear to be standing before you, regaling you with talk of my latest invention. Well, no doubt you've inferred that the reverse is also true. You don't mean... Oh, Her Majesty has seen and heard every moment of the proceedings, yes. I assume there would be no objection. After all, every trial in this country is conducted under the auspice of Her Majesty, as you know. You... I confess, I'm quite impatient to hear Her Majesty's opinion about the unforgivably distasteful trickery in which you've been engaged over the past 10 years.
No, I was merely...
Oh, I'm so sorry. Keep you waiting. Vicky and I had so much to talk about. Victoria.
Oh my gosh.
Iris, there you are. Queen Victoria. In fact, I have a little message here from Her Majesty.
A message? Here it is. Well then, if everyone is sitting comfortably, Forthwith and with immediate effect, all authority previously afforded to Mal Strongheart is hereby revoked forevermore. Furthermore, he will be prosecuted for crimes against his country in a public trial by jury in the coming days. So, it seems that Her Majesty doesn't believe we need to fight fire with fire.
Oh, she'll do it publicly. She's not even afraid of it.
Nope.
Wow.
Justice in this country needed be administered from the shadows at all.
The Queen's like, that would be a negatory.
Maelstrom.
Thanks for the super chat, Adam!
The darkness you fostered to conceal your despicable actions these last 10 years is a thing of the past now. You want to read the super chat?
Yeah, it says, this is the perfect music to finish the trial! Great pursuit! The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo! Time to face the music, Strongheart! You lose! That was Adam's
Very
super
nice,
chat.
Adam. Thank you very much. After today, your brand of law and order has no future, because no longer are you the Lord Chief Justice. In the eyes of the law and Her Majesty the Queen, you are nothing but a criminal. Adjourned! 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 Court is adjourned!
That's right, Simons. You can't do evil to stop evil.
Oh, it's beyond guilty.
He's so beyond guilty.
The scales are broken.
It's gonna break.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. The scales of justice are broken.
I think he's gonna die.
What is happening?
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, he's done. I think he's dead. I mean, he was gonna die anyway, so... Oops. Oh, nope, he lived. Lord Clint Van Zeeks left a will in which he confessed everything. When those words came out of Asogi's mouth, it deranged me completely. I knew I must do everything in my power to contain the situation. But I couldn't find the damned document. I searched his cell, but it wasn't there. Which precipitated the jailbreak plot, I presume? What do you mean? The need to obtain the will was all-consuming. I was sure that if I facilitated Asogi's escape, he would emerge with the will somewhere on his person. But despite searching his limp body in the cemetery that night, it still eluded me.
He didn't have it on him.
It never crossed my mind that it was concealed in that sword's hilt.
This is what I'm saying. Bad guys always get their comeuppance.
I don't know. In the game, they do.
I think he should be Chief Justice. What pains me now is that my brother left this world without a word to me.
I'm sorry, Lord Van Zieks.
In point of fact, I think perhaps that isn't the case.
Sorry?
How can that be?
Well, there is more to his last will and testament.
What?
What do you mean there's more to it?
As I confront the prospect of my demise, I feel a bitter regret for my younger brother. Barak, you have always looked up to me, and now you follow in my footsteps to become a prosecutor. It is my fervent wish that my unspeakable deeds should not hinder your advancement. I ask not for understanding, for none could understand my depravity. I ask only for forgiveness.
Aww.
Asogi... Oh.
Nope, you're fine.
Oh,
Please.
Asogi is a fine... I cannot commit to paper what it is. I have confessed my sins to my wife now. May she find resolution in my death. With my eternal gratitude to my Japanese friend, I rest my quill. Clint Van Zieks. Oh, that's his name.
Yeah. Clint. Why did you do it, Clint?
He got pushed by the Lord
Yep.
Strongheart guy.
Yep.
Well, he originally did it to one person, but... I have a question, though. If you really do use your dog to kill someone, is it a real murder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mal Strongheart. You colluded with Shishiro Jigoku in a criminal plot so immense it spanned the oceans. And you cold-heartedly murdered all those who knew the truth about what happened 10 years ago.
But how could you train your dog to do that?
But why did you set about that now, a whole decade later?
To ascend to the very peak. Huh? These last 10 years made me realize being Lord Chief Justice wasn't enough. Sort of becoming Her Majesty's Attorney General. I could have no real power to effect the changes needed in this country. And for that promotion, I needed to ensure no remnants of the past remained.
Oh.
How could you? I like everything to run smoothly in the exact manner that I'd prescribe, like a well-oiled machine. And I was just a step away.
And for your ambition to succeed. Did you even bother to count the number of brilliant people you had killed?
Ah, Mr. Reaper, are you not forgetting something?
Such as?
You very much adapted your usual prosecutor-like demeanor in the proceedings now. But the reality of the situation is that you are the defendant in this trial.
There!
However, the presiding judge would have appeared to have fallen from the bench, as it were. May I suggest, therefore, that we entrust the final adjunction to an old friend?
My lord! Yes, hello, as a member of the judiciary, I must have been following the proceedings from the gallery. You heard me before, right?
Santa!
Yes, Santa's back, and I must say I shan't ever forget the extraordinary battle between good and evil that I've witnessed here today.
He was there the whole time.
Yes, I was enjoying some of
I think he took a nap.
the fine wine that was thrown my way on countless occasions. A bit tipsy. The darkness that has blighted justice in our land these past 10 years has at last been dispelled. Thanks in no small part to the efforts of the bright young star from the east.
Which one?
Defense Counsel Naruhodo.
Yes, Santa.
That's right. On behalf of everyone here present in the Old Bailey, I give you my heartfelt thank you.
You're too kind, my lord.
The first time I faced you in court was just under a year ago now. I had the faintest of intimidations. That if the British justice so wrapped and twisted over its long history, we finally... Blah! Sorry. That if the British justice so warped and twisted over its long history was finally to now change. This might just be the man to do it.
What? Really, me?
But at the time, I wouldn't allow myself to acknowledge the possibility. I couldn't overcome my hatred of the Japanese after the circumstances of my brother's death. Mr. Naruhodo, allow me to apologize for the countless discourtesies on my part. You are a lawyer of boundless talent.
Whoa!
Oh, Lord Van Seeks.
When I first arrived here in Great Britain, I was literally a nobody. Certainly not a lawyer. The truth is, my fortunes have entirely been made by the miraculous people I've met. My best friend, Kazuma Sogi, who led me here to Britain in the first place. My loyal and ever-patient judicial assistant, Miss Susie, who helped me study to become a lawyer and maybe more later. The brilliant Lord Van Zeeks, who never failed to challenge his Nipponese rival. And not to mention, the exceptional master of logic and reasoning who showed me the true art of deduction, Mr. Sholmes. Saving the best for last, Mr. Naruhodo! What a relief! I'm well aware that without all these people's help and support, I wouldn't be where I am today. The truth is a guiding light that always leads to happiness. I've lived by that principle for a long time now, but actually, it's not true. The truth can also cause great pain, sometimes even leave people on the brink of despair. And for that reason, there are those who feel the need to hide the truth, who do it instinctively even. Right, but as soon as we allow our eyes to settle on something other than the truth, the darkness takes hold. And from there it grows, until eventually, it makes us blind to the guiding light of the truth altogether. So that's why it's my belief that we must all resolve never to avert our eyes from what is just true, just and true. Ow!
This is a lot of talking.
Yep. So that we can continue to walk straight and narrow path ahead together.
Alright, yada yada yada, whatever, Naruhodo. That's great.
Oh, there's probably another hour left to the game, honey.
No.
Yep.
I think we're done. We're done here.
Ah, the feels. Well,
No!
I must excuse myself now.
No more talking. It's over.
But before I go, Mr. Naruhodo, let me compliment you on your grand opus. Huh? What? Without your beautifully composed case against Lord Strongheart, Her Majesty would have been unable to act. Thanks to you and your fellows, the haunting undertones corrupting the British justice system have been silenced once and for all. Thank you very much. Well then, so, until our paths cross again somewhere, goodbye.
Well then, it would appear that this long trial has finally come to an end. Yes, but now we have an hour of dialogue. My apologies for an anxiety caused, my lord. It's fine, I'm quite sure we shall meet again here in this courtroom before long, Prosecutor Barak von Jakes. Because you are not guilty! In conclusion of these proceedings, I hereby declare the defendant Barak von Jakes not guilty!
Guilty!
Cue the confetti, that it is. That never gets
Confetti!
old. Ha ha ha, yes!
Wait, why
fireworks this time, that's
They're
new.
cheering for him when all those people in the court were cheering for the other guy before.
Yeah, well.
Fickle. Fickle much.
That is all. Court is adjourned officially now. By the power vested in me as Santa Claus.
I want Santa Claus to be my judge.
4th of November, 4:21 p.m., the Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Oh, it really is all over. But did I sacrifice too much?
Mr. Naruhodo. I really must congratulate you. It was a truly splendid performance. Honestly, I couldn't be happier for you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. But I really couldn't have done it without you at my side, though. Through it all, Miss Susie.
Oh! Your kind words mean so much to me.
Ah, it really was very splendid show, that, Mr. Naruhodo. I'd have thought you'd been smiling from ear to ear, but you look rather glum.
Mikotoba looks good in a suit.
He's Watson, so... Well, of course I'm delighted about the verdict, but in exposing the truth, I'm afraid I've caused my client a great deal of pain. I'm really not sure that's what a lawyer ought to be doing, you know?
Oh, well, in that case, I'm quite sure that when you see Lord Van Zeek's smiling face, everything will seem much better.
I don't smile.
Vampire!
Miss Susie? Everything seems worse. He has a face like thunder.
Oh, dear. I really shouldn't have presumed.
I don't smile, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah? Almost a year it's been now since I first encountered you here in this very courthouse. For you to have risen to the level of excellence you demonstrated today, well, it's quite remarkable. But I exposed the most unpalatable truth that you could ever have imagined in court today. I feel as though I've robbed you of something you held so dear. What was it he said? To fight those who dwell in darkness requires at least some of us to occupy the darkness themselves. Oh! But that was just the feeble excuse of a coward. Only those with a steadfast eye for truth have what it takes to fight the dark forces of crime. You made fine work of establishing that fact in court today.
Oh! Well, thank you.
What magnanimous words! I'm quite sure that Kazuma-sama would have a smile on his face at this very moment if he were here too.
Oh, Kazuma.
I am here.
Ninja! Miss Susie? There's another face like thunder here.
Oh my! He really was here!
Lord Van Zeeks. Allow me to congratulate you on your acquittal.
Yes, whatever. Congratulate me or curse me. You failed to bring down the Reaper.
Yes, no.
I owe you an apology.
What? Oh no, it is I who should apologize. Your father, Genshin. If I had been stronger, then perhaps. I made an unforgivable error of judgment. I can offer no excuse.
And I can offer no forgiveness. That said, I suppose you fought for justice and truth. For that, at least, I can't withhold respect.
Your words mean more to me than you could know. I will hold them dear.
Kazuma-sama!
I must say, there's one thing that's still bothering me, though. What's that? The will that Lord Clint wrote before his duel with my father.
What about it?
Sogi is a fine detective and a hunter of worthy respect. He has agreed to honor my final two wishes. The first is that the document survives. The second, I cannot commit to paper. I have confessed my sins to my wife. May she find resolution in my death. With my eternal gratitude to the Japanese friend, I rest my quill. Clint Van Zeeks.
So they had a duel and he lost.
Yeah, but the second says it could not commit to paper.
What can the second of his final wishes have been?
That your father agreed to honor, you mean? I think perhaps I might be able to shed some light on that. What?
Father!
It was 10 years ago, as you know, the day before the execution was scheduled. I went to the prison to say my farewells to Genshin. Okay. Why aren't you putting up more of a fight, Genshin? If you'd only agreed to it, Shishiro and I would gladly petition the government. We've been through this already. You don't need to worry about me. Anyway, Yujin, I have a favor to ask of you. Something of great importance. You're one of my greatest friends, Genshin. Whatever it is, consider it done.
He lost his
I'm going to
friend.
tell you an address. I need you to go there once in secret and tell no one. You should find a lady of gentry in hiding there. A lady of gentry? She's not in a good way, and she's with child. The birth is imminent. As a medical man, I'd like you to attend to her, please. You're her only hope. By any chance, is this child yours, Genshin? Don't be daft. It's a favor. What was asked of me by a man I knew, as his dying wish. My goodness! I swore to the man that I would help. That I would do whatever I could for his wife and his unborn child. But if something should happen to me, I need to ask you that same favor. You're the only person I know that I can really rely on.
His wife and his unborn child.
What did you say? If something should happen to you? Tomorrow night, you're going to be...
Oh my gosh, I think it's Iris. She's 11.
You never know, though, do you? What life will bring? Alright then, tell me the address. I'll head there at once, with Shishiro and... No, not with him. Pardon? This is a favor I'm asking of you, and only you, Yujin.
Yeah, don't go with Sushiro. He's
Right,
dirty.
well, I see. Very well then.
Yeah, don't. He's dirty, rotten.
That very night, I caught a train from Paddington to Devon. I found the old house, and in the middle of nowhere, it was an old hunting hound lay asleep on the grounds. The poor woman was on the floor at the back of a darkened room. She was in mortal danger. I broke her waters to precipitate the labor before she weakened further, but it was a torturous birth. I did everything humanly possible for her and her child.
It was Iris. It's Iris.
Clint
daughter.
was the daughter. He was the father
Iris is the niece
of Lord Van Zeeks. And in
Yep.
the end, I was lucky enough to welcome a new life into the world. But tragically,
Her mom died.
my efforts to save the mother's life were in vain. I held the healthy newborn girl in my arms and wept for longer than I care to remember. Eventually, in something of a daze, I looked around the room. There was precious little in it, but an old travel trunk caught my eye. I had clearly been well looked over of the years, made of top-quality leather with a fine stitching. But it was when I saw the emblem on the side of it that everything dropped into place. B for Baskerville.
Oh, Baskerville?
You mean the woman was the wife of Lord Clint Van Zeeks? That's right, yes. The newborn was his daughter. But that makes no sense. Why on earth would Clint have entrusted the child to my care in that case? I was completely unaware that he had a daughter. I suppose he didn't really have any choice? What? Well, your brother said that he'd confessed everything to his wife, so she must have been beside herself with worry for the child. If her true identity, the professor, was ever to be made public, the girl would be forever branded as the daughter of the infamous mass murderer. Ugh! So the only solution was to distance the young girl from Van Zeek's family as much as possible. I don't believe it.
I imagine that in his final hour, Lord Clint made the very obvious choice. He would have thought to himself, this Japanese man here is someone I can trust. I honored my promise to Genshin, of course. However, well, only a month later, I was summoned back to Japan. And without disclosing the parentage of the child, I couldn't obtain permission to take her with me.
Oh, how awful!
I was completely at loss. In the end, I had to ask my great friend. I asked him if he would be able to father her.
That being Mr. Sholmes, I presume?
Yes. He took one look into my eyes and agreed to it on the spot.
Mr. Sholmes has a heart of gold. I'm gonna cry.
Really, all can be said that I did for the child was to give her a name.
Oh?
When I'd come to Britain, I was trying to escape from the grief of losing my darling wife. So it was her name that I gave the little girl.
He named her his wife's name.
Your wife's name, Professor Mikotoba, in other words.
The name of my mother? Ayame Mikotoba. Oh!
Oh!
That's right, Ayame. Or in English, Iris.
Oh.
Iris?
I had no idea.
Ding dong. Ouch!
Mr. Naruhodo, what's wrong?
This little thing just pinched me on the ear through my trouser pocket hard. My dear fellows, can you hear me? Mr. Sholmes, is that you? Youch! Yes, we can hear you. What's going on? You see that excessive tugging? Can you let me, that be a lesson to you?
Mr. Sholmes, we weren't able to thank you properly before, but you were simply marvelous. Your checkmate move was a stroke of genius.
Indeed it was, wasn't it? I surpassed myself, I feel. It had to become apparent to me that to stop Lord Chief Injustice, one would require such measures. Runo? Oh.
Runo! Susie!
Oh, Iris!
Oh, I'm so pleased. What a wonderful outcome. Her Majesty Queen Vicky said she thought my special blend was delicious.
Oh, I'm sure she did. After all, no one brews a more delicious tea than you do, Iris.
Let's have a party to celebrate. And Mr. Reaper, you simply must come too.
What? I'm afraid I couldn't. The Reaper of the Bailey flustered by a 10-year-old girl. Again, his niece.
No, really? Oh, pooh.
But I give you my word that I shall present myself at your residence in the near future to express my gratitude.
Oh, how lovely. Oh, you've promised now. I won't let you forget. Bye for now, then.
All right, Iris. Thank you for all your help earlier.
Oh, that was nothing. Just come back home soon.
Youch! One final pinch goodbye, was it?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I think I ought to be leaving. Lord Van Zeeks, would you care to accompany me? Certainly. Mr. Naruhodo, allow me once again to express my deep gratitude to you. I believe you saved my life. Thank you. Okay, that's all he has to say. Wait, Lord Van Zeeks! What? Yes? What are you intending to do now? Well, clearly, I shall have to resign from the prosecutor's office.
Oh no!
I intend to publish the full truth about the professor case. Once that is done, the Van Zieks family will be ostracized completely from London society.
No, you won't. Surely not.
So as soon as I am free for my employment, I shall leave the capital.
Oh, I see. Don't be a fool.
Nani?
Are those the actions of a man once feared as the mighty Reaper of the Bailey?
I beg your pardon?
For the past 10 years, you've endured that Sudium and been cast as one of the dark forces yourself. Now that you've finally been freed from that disrepute, your battle is just beginning, surely.
Well, I certainly never expected to hear those words from your lips.
I waited a very long time to come to London. Now I'm properly here. I intend to learn all that I can. Anyway, goodbye for now, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Okay. Kazuma Sogi. It seems as though he's really matured suddenly.
He doesn't hate Van Zieks anymore.
I guess not.
He's not the only one who's matured, Mr. Naruhodo.
Huh? Me?
No, not you. No. Well, I think we should make our way back home to Baker Street. We must help Iris with tonight's dinner.
We must. That's right.
It's chicken.
Oh, pheasant? You think she made pheasant for everyone?
I think we had pheasant.
It was then that I came to an important decision about my future. Oh? Oh, wow, that's such a feast. November 6th, 5th, 6:25 p.m. Yep, there's pheasant.
So basically, Sholmes has kept her since she was a baby.
He's basically her dad then, yeah. I mean, if he's raised her since birth.
Mikitoba raised her for like 2 weeks.
A month.
And then he handed her off to Sholmes.
Yep. I'm home!
Oh my gosh. About time you got here! We've been waiting ages, Odo!
Well, what are you doing here with that colorful piece of history?
It's a party, innit? It's got to go off with a bang. I mean, fireworks, really. But when you ain't got fire, smoke's the next best thing, ain't it?
Smoke's the next best thing. Yeah, that's a girl on Fresno Street who could help you with that, I think.
Right. I remember that.
You don't have to reload that thing every time I speak, though. You really must hear this. It's quite the most extraordinary thing. I assure you that it will defy your expectations. Take down every detail now, Mikitoba. The world-famous great detective regaling his partner with a tale of his adventure. Sight to behold. Would you care to hazard a guess? Where do you suppose the fiendish runaway had concealed himself? Would you believe? Inside the trunk I found abandoned in his cabin? I would believe it, yes. I say, Mikitoba, I detect not a hint of surprise. I wonder why that is, Maybe because I was there at the scene as well, Sholmes? What? You were? Then why the deuce didn't you say so before? Not quite the sight I was expecting to behold, but still, it's hard not to feel privileged to see these two working. Mr. Sholmes, Professor Mikitoba, I'm finally back from the Bailey.
Oh.
Not a moment too soon. A feast is prepared by Iris and Miss Susie awaits. I must say I haven't seen Susie looking so happy in a very long time. Good job, son. What?
Oh, Rena, there you are. Dinner is on the table, everyone. Please do come and take a seat.
Okay.
Time to fill me boots.
Time to fill me boots. Whoopsies.
Looks like cherry pie, pheasant, potatoes. Goodness, is that really true, Gina? Yep, I'm losing my copper's cobbler and going back to what I know best. It's a diver's life for me. Oh, you're really leaving the police force, Skinny? But why? Well, the boss ain't around no more, so... oh. And anyway, no matter how, and I try, the Reaper ain't never gonna accept a diver turn a dick, is he? Well, people can change you now, can he?
Ah, yes, that reminds me. I rather thought I had offered to relieve the bailiffs of this now defunct piece of evidence.
Eh?
It's the inspector's pocket watch, and the crown has been reattached.
Aww.
That watch was his pride and joy, a symbol of his great achievements at Scotland Yard. For 10 years without fail, it's measured every second of the man's remarkable career.
But now, it's stopped.
Someone needs to keep the memory of the Inspector Gregson's career alive by taking on the great responsibility of winding that watch every single day again.
Yes, someone with an equally fierce detective spirit. It's gotta be me! There ain't no one else! Quite right, Guinea. I mean, after all, the boss was... well, he was my boss! That's right, Guinea, he was! Oh yeah, and I made you promise and all, didn't I, Iris? That I'd become a proper detective one day and track down your old man?
Oh!
Oh my gosh. Alright then, it's decoded. I'll do it, and I swear I will. I'll find your dad and bring him kicking and screaming here.
I'm not entirely sure that would be appropriate.
Do it!
Yeah, I think, Gina, it might be best to, well...
I think I'd like you to forget that promise, Guinea. Eh?
Iris?
Wait, how does she know? Well, obviously, I've always wondered about who my real daddy is. Of course I have. I wanted to know where I've come from. I thought I might tell me something about myself. But I've caused such a lot of trouble trying to find out for so many people. Hurley, Runo, Professor Mickey.
Oh, no, not at all, my dear. Really, you owe no apology to anyone.
Well, anyway, I've decided to give up on it because I finally realized my daddy is the greatest detective in the world. I don't think it matters what his name is or where he's from. Don't you agree, Hurley?
No. With every word, Iris, with every word.
Aww.
Thank you, Hurley. Thank you, Daddy.
Oh my gosh, the feels!
Who's she calling Daddy?
She's calling Sholmes her father.
Aww.
I think, Mikitoba... Yes, Sholmes? I think that I ought to express my gratitude to you.
Oh?
For 6 years, you and I solved many mysteries together. And during that time, I remember countless expressions of gratitude for your good services. But, a moment ago, I heard the most pleasing expression of gratitude of them all. And I should never have experienced it if it were not for you. Oh, you old softy, Sholmes. But I must confess, it's a weight off my mind to hear you say that. Well then, I think this calls for a lengthy violin recital, wouldn't you say?
Oh, well, I mean, the food would go cold. That's the problem. Maybe next week, Harley?
Are you sure a week is long enough, Iris?
Oh my gosh.
The feels!
Oh, that made...
I still think
Oh.
they're gonna tell Iris when she's 20, like, who her dad is.
Maybe they
Be
will.
like, your dad is a killer.
No, I don't think that would be very nice.
Yeah. Let's
Even
tell
amidst
her.
the most troubling of cases, even reeling from the most shocking of revelations, returning in the evening to this suite of rooms, there's always warmth and happiness to be had. The home of the world's greatest detective, and my home too, with my greatest family. My gosh, there's no other Ace Attorney game like this. Oh, the 4th of November, 9:37 p.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultant Agency. The feels.
The feels.
This attic room has been my home and office for almost a year now. I've certainly had some unforgettable experiences whilst I've lived here. But I think now the time has come. Time to bid this place farewell. Naruhodo?
That's right, Cheyenne. Blood makes you related. Love makes you a family.
Professor, what is it? Well, are you alone? I didn't hear any sound from Susie. Yeah, Susie went after... She went out to Dinage... She went out after Dinage for a carriage ride with Iris. Something about an important matter she needed to take care of. I see. Well...
What important matter?
I wanted to thank you for what you did earlier.
Huh? Me?
With Iris, I mean. When the subject of her father came up.
Lord Clint, yeah.
I made up my mind many years ago never to tell her who her real father was. It's what was agreed with Genshin, after all.
Oh, he promised Genshin.
Lord Clint's final wishes before he died, you mean?
Yes. I've had to take, some rather drastic steps at times to protect the secret, you know? Calling, Susie back to Japan 6 months ago, for example.
Oh, that's why.
When I read, Suki-san's report about his final days in London, my heart nearly stopped. You'd stumbled across the crux of that terrible case, the dog's collar.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The description of the Baskerville insignia left me in no doubt.
Baskerville.
I feel like...
If you decided to investigate that insignia sooner or later, you would have made the connection to the Van Zeeks. And to make matters worse, Susie knew of the unpublished story as well. The story that Iris had written based on my notes from the time.
Yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Exactly.
It's okay, honey.
It was a work of fiction, but based on the grim reality of a huge beast of a dog being used as a murder weapon. A dog with the Baskerville family emblem around its neck. Armed with those two clues, I feared you and Susie might arrive at the truth. So I intended that the story about having collapsed to justify her leaving London and returning to Japan at once. All in aid of a halting an investigation that you and she might have been contemplating.
I see. Something I've never understood, though, is did she come across that manuscript in Japan? How did she? You know, Iris's Hound of Baskerville story, I mean...
Sholmes sent it to me. That was before Susie left Japan. He was very troubled about what, should be done about it, you see. I'd read it and carelessly left it on my desk, which is where Susie came across it, of course. It was the only case Sholmes and I ever pursued that I didn't record in meticulous detail. I was stunned when I discovered that young Iris had pieced together so much of my paltry notes. Sholmes and I discussed the matter and decided that we couldn't allow the story's publication. At that point, I returned to the manuscript post to Sholmes for safekeeping.
So you did all that to stop Iris from finding out the truth about her father?
That's right, yes. Because Sholmes had told me how astute she'd become. However, having witnessed the events in court today, I must say my opinion has somewhat shifted.
Oh?
Yes. I think at some point in the future, the time will come for Iris to know the truth. And when she does, well, I believe it will be for the best.
I think so too. But for the time being, Sholmes can be her dad.
How will it be for the best?
Actually, Professor, I wanted to talk to you about something important. Ah? Judging from your expression, I'd say you've come to a decision, have you? Yeah, I have.
It's gonna marry
I
Susato.
will be returning with you to Japan.
Oh.
Are you quite sure? Yeah. I'm really only here as a substitute for Kazuma. But he's here in Britain now, as originally intended. Student Naruhodo doesn't really have a right to stay, I think. I see. Looking back now, when I first arrived here in February... Flashbacks!
Oh,
this
sorry.
is me. My becoming a lawyer just seemed to be the way things turned out. With Kazuma, Susie, and Mr. Shomes all gently pushing me in that direction. They're playing the Ace Attorney music now.
Yeah.
I spent the best part of the year immersed in this world, but always aware of a seed of doubt was inside of me. Until today.
R.I.P. Donkey.
Standing in that courtroom earlier, all doubts vanished from my mind. Yeah. I was totally focused. I was sure of my belief in my client, and I was sure that I could see the trial through. And at the end of it, I finally realized no one else chose this path for me. I chose it myself. Ah, the path of a defense lawyer, eh? Yeah, that's what I am now. That's what I'll be going back with you in Japan as. And that's the path I'll be following for the rest of my life. And my descendants. Well, it sounds like you've made quite a resolution there, Naruhodo. I have. Very well then. I must say, it's extremely welcoming news. I shall make arrangements for your return first thing tomorrow, but I don't imagine we'll depart for a few days. Not with the symposium having been cancelled now. Such a shame. Never mind. I'm sure there will be other opportunities in the future. Well, then, I bid you a good night, my friend. Oh, Susie's back. Uh-oh, she heard you.
Here. She's gonna stay here.
Susie!
I just wanted to let you know that I'm back.
Oops. Did you, hear what I just told your dad?
I'm sorry. I did, yes. I couldn't help but...
Oh, how much did you hear?
Well... From the part about Iris's real father, I think.
Oh, in other words, from the beginning.
Huh. So, you've made up your mind then, Ryunosuke? You'll return to Japan and continue working as a defense lawyer.
Ah, yeah, I'm sorry. I really should have consulted with you about it. I did want to earlier this evening, actually, but you had already gone out, so...
Oh, no. That's quite all right. I already knew that's what you would decide, Naruhodo.
You did? Oh, this is so sad. I can't deal with this. They're too cute together. Susie?
Oh, yes?
Well, I suppose this means, it has to be farewell soon, huh?
I suppose.
You'll be great help to Kazuma going forward, though. I mean, I know he's a brilliant lawyer, but he's new to the British courtroom. He'll certainly benefit greatly having a brilliant judicial assistant at his side.
I'll do my very best.
I wish I could say it, but I just can't tell her. I can't ask her to come with me. After all, she was always supposed to be coming to the Britain as Kazuma's assistant.
It's growing late. We should both try and get some sleep. I'm sure you must be exhausted after today.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I am.
Before I retire, let me just say one more time, Ryunosuke. You really were quite splendid in court today. If you ask me, anyone who thinks of you as a substitute or a locum should be ashamed of themselves.
Susie. Well, thank you. Not gonna cry. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is what I get for watching so many rom-coms. Oh! Emotions!
People are shouting, propose!
Propose, you idiot! Propose!
Marinus the Grey is writing, just propose.
Marry the girl, you idiot!
She's gonna go off with... She's gonna go off with Kazuma, you...
No!
You stupid moron!
No! November 7th, 5:52 a.m.
When
Port
you come
Dover.
back here in 6 months, she's gonna be married to Kazuma.
I know! I can't believe this day finally came.
Wow! You are an idiot, Ryunosuke. Oh, you're really leaving then, Reno?
I'm afraid so, Iris. Thank you so much for everything. I don't know what I'll do without your wonderful cooking, though, and delicious tea.
Oh, I wish you weren't going. But, you have to come back and visit. Say you will, Reno.
Oh, of course. I promise. Someday. Well, it was a very brief reunion, but, it was a pleasure to pursue a case with you again after all. So long, my friend. For a while, at least, it felt like old times. Ah, yes, I suppose on reflection, there's something to be said for it, having a little fun once in a while. Oh.
I'll just go and say goodbye to the professor as well, I think.
All right, Iris, you do that. Oh, the ship is honking. Wow, this is a reversal from the original. Oh, it's voice acted!
I've just checked, Naruhodo-san. Your luggage is already on board. Such a beautiful morning. Perfect for embarking on a journey, isn't it?
Before I set off, I'd just like to say how thankful I am for everything you've done for me. And give my warmest regards to Kazuma, please.
Actually, I think you ought to give him your regards in person, don't you?
Sorry?
Ryunosuke.
Oh, he's there.
Kazuma! What are you doing here?
Do you really think I'd miss my best friend's departure?
Aww, you're his best friend.
Thanks. To be honest, I'd been looking forward to our wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's capital, but,
Well, we'll have to save that for another time. Personally, I'm looking forward to facing you in court again.
me too. But, we're both defense lawyers, so,
I'm going to become a prosecutor. I'll stay in Lord Van Zeek's tutelage for the time being, but before long, I intend to be just as formidable as the Reaper himself.
Wait.
oh, I see.
So we need a defense lawyer?
Actually, Ryunosuke, I have a favor to ask.
Name it.
I'd like you to take care of this for me for a while.
Karuma? Why?
Because I've seen it now. I've seen what's inside me. The demon that reared its ugly head that day.
This game was so great.
It was only for the briefest of moments. The last time I came face to face with that inspector. But it was unmistakable. I wanted to kill him.
Didn't he kill your dad, though?
No.
Frame your dad.
I've always known there are demons that
Same
live
thing.
inside people. And now I know there is one in me. The fact that it very nearly consumed me is something I'll carry with me until the end of my
This guy
days.
never wanted to kill anyone.
While
Never
I
worked retail.
devote my life to fighting those whose demons have got the better of them. As a prosecutor.
So, that's what you've resolved to do, is it?
Until I'm ready to face the demon within me. To slay it once and for all. I leave this in your care. If you'll take it.
Of course I will. I'll keep it by my side. Always.
Wow.
Until we meet again, then. You have your path to follow, and I have mine.
Naruhodo-san? The path you're going to follow from now on. I wonder if I might follow it at your side, and unless I'd be a burden.
What? I mean, I would very much like you to come with me.
Yes!
But aren't you?
You're so predictable, Ryunosuke.
I am?
Honestly, you never change at all. But that's what I like about you.
You mean you knew about this?
It was the evening after Lord Van Zeek's trial came to an end. She came to see me at the prosecutor's office.
Really? Or when I had that conversation with Professor Mikotoba?
So, you'd go with Ryunosuke back to Japan?
Yes. I know it's unfair of me to follow my own interests like this.
Coming here especially to tell me. You're a stickler for etiquette, aren't you? Well, what are his feelings?
We've never discussed it, of course, and Naruhodo-san has made no such suggestion. I worry that perhaps I'd be a burden to him.
He's just as much of a stickler for etiquette as you are. He'd never say anything before he was asked. But I'd feel happy knowing you were with him. Look out for him on my behalf, will you?
Of course.
Susato-san.
What do you think, Naruhodo-san?
Yes!
With you by my side, no trial would seem too daunting. So if you're willing, I'd be honored if you'd come with me. Together we can take on the world.
I'm terribly incompetent, but if you'll have me, I'd be delighted.
Oh, no, not at all. If anyone's terribly incompetent, it's me.
Ah! What's wrong?
Your luggage, Susato-san. There's no time. The ship's going to set sail any minute now.
It's all right. There's no need to worry. As it happens, my luggage is already on board too.
It is?
Your fine judicial assistant has everything in hand as always, I see.
How will she go? How will she?
Ryuno, your ship's about to leave.
Women aren't allowed in
Time
court.
to go then.
Not yet.
Look after yourself, Ryunosuke.
What do you mean not yet?
Maybe she'll be the first.
Draw your sword.
My sword duel?
Why would they do a duel?
This is weird.
They're gonna fight over Susato.
Oh, actually an animated cutscene? No.
They both have a sword?
Yeah, he gave him Kuroma.
And he has a new one.
It's a British sword.
One day, when our paths cross, once more, we'll fight a duel of words across the courtroom. A day I eagerly await, as a lawyer.
I've been waiting to hear you say that, partner.
That's kind of cool.
That was cool, but the sword is broken.
Don't forget me then, Kazuma.
As if I could, Ryunosuke.
I feel like Cosmo's gonna be lonely.
And Mr. Sholmes, thank you so much. I'm very much indebted to you.
The virus thing.
Indeed, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe you are.
I'll never forget all you've done for me during my time in London.
Quite. I should like to think you will remember your debt of gratitude. Especially when I visit you in your country.
Sequel!
What? The truth is, although many are ignorant of the fact, the world is far smaller than most folk realize.
Well, I'd be delighted if you came to Japan one day.
Oh yes, would welcome you with open arms, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, that sounds wonderful! I can't wait!
In that case, let us conclude that this is to be merely a brief parting, my dear fellows.
Such a good story.
And that brings us to the end of my adventures in Great Britain. A peculiar twist of fate brought me halfway around the world those many months ago. But that was just the start of my journey. Who knows where fate will lead me next? Still, I'm confident this won't be my last meeting with the friends I've made in London. And when we're together again, no doubt the first words I'll hear will be,
Come, the game is afoot.
Wow.
They're gonna go back.
The ship, with our friends from the
The land of the
east,
rising
sailed
sun.
steadily towards the distant horizon. But Sholmes's face was alight with joy. The times may change, but a steadfast friendship will remain true, Wilson. We have but to gently close our eyes, and we are with our companions once more.
So, I do just that. And when I do, I can hear his strong, familiar voice ring out.
Objection!
Until we meet again, Ryuno.
Yay! And with that, ladies and gentlemen, another Let's Play is complete!
Yeah!
Thank you so much, Capcom, for providing a copy of this game. It was amazing from start to finish.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much, Capcom. You're amazing.
I've been thoroughly indaunted with inquiries about my remote cinematography, but no proprietor of electric goods. The promise closed and something. Anyway, I've decided an absence from London is in order as a souvenir and distant chimes. Empire of Japan, perhaps. I understand that wardrobe class incurs no charge whatsoever.
Okay, so he's going to Japan. Sequel confirmed.
Who's going to Japan?
Sholmes.
Whoa.
Oh, Iris, go, Amber.
Oh, I gave Little Nut to Harley the other day. It just said thank you for everything, Daddy. But it made Harley cry. And I gave him some lotion that I invented as well. But he said that might make him cry too, so he'd rather,
Not use it.
not use it.
Very cute.
She called him Daddy. That was
I know.
so cute.
Well, I mean, he's been raising her his whole life.
Yeah, from
Oh.
2 months old.
In those days when I was known as the Reaper, I felt your presence at my side, Clint.
Now he doesn't feel him anymore.
Once, unable to bear the burden of that grim pseudium, I even retired from the courtroom. Despite everything, I still wear your prosecutor's badge with pride. But the darkness that once beset me is no more, as you too are no more. In the words of a young foreign friend of mine, I must stride forward toward a brighter future. No, I guess he's staying on as a prosecutor then. Good. He should become the new Lord Chief Justice.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I think he'd be very good at it. Oh.
Oh, the boss left in it for me, you know? And I can read out every letter now, A to Z. It cleared a load of stuff up. The boss was trying to protect me, see? And that's exactly what me and Chief Inspector Toby are gonna keep doing here in London. I only wish I could have said how grateful I was before, you know.
Yeah.
Sadness!
The feels. Oh, I can't. I'm gonna miss these characters. Oh boy.
Gina, the truth is I'm not an upstanding fellow you think I am. You might be a diver at heart, but it's a good heart. You reminded me I need to be true to myself. I've got one more job to take care of before it's ta-ta to London town for the foreseeable future. And then I've got to complete your education in the art of detection a la Gregson, as they say.
So he planned on teaching her to be a detective. That's nice.
He knew he was a bad person. Bad! Sorry.
It's fine.
Yes, Your Excellency, this man is accused of illegal entry into the office of... Yeah.
He was mostly good. He did something bad. Saseki, objection!
Objection overruled, Minister Husband. You are Cattish Council of Defense, and a woman are forbidden.
Oh, really? My friend Susato in the British courtroom all the time!
Perhaps I should have engaged the services of a regular legal team? Wait, what's wrong with him? Why is he on trial?
I have no idea. He's in, like, Chief Inspector of the Police.
Now he's in trouble. Oh, great.
I think they're just putting people in random places.
Mm-hmm. I suppose so, yeah. Oh, have fun, Amber.
Mama, is it true Japanese people are experts in law? Or whatever they are. Yes, they are. Fish and whatnot. I'd like to hone my fidgeting skills. Don't you mind, Mama? I mean, filleting. Yes, I do. I'm not a corpse yet, am I? No. And I'm glad.
Okay.
Sorry, I kind of forgot that I was supposed to do both voices.
Yeah, you read too slow.
I forgot I was supposed to do both. Don't cut me up yet, dear. I forgot what her voice sounded like.
I guess that's everybody, because...
People thought I did a good version of her.
Oh, wait. Here I am again in Great Britain on an invitation from my dear old university friend. He sent me a very nice letter saying he'd like to show me around and everything. But what have I done? I was so excited I picked this splendid hotel and now I can't afford the bill. Barak, come to my rescue again, please. I wish I could vanish into the air sometimes.
So he's back in Britain now that the Reaper of the Bailey's gone. Interesting. Oh, there you go.
When I went to make the Waxworth impression of the killer in the cemetery, but even in the witness stand of the highest court in the land, they could not figure it out. The Lord Chief Justice had struck a bargain, you see. For a faithful reproduction of the visage, there is nothing a witch spells cannot do. I read slowly.
Yep. So she made a visage of the Lord Chief Justice. Creepy.
Oh, which Lord Chief Justice?
The one that was executed. Strongheart.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Creepy.
Everyone calls me gossip. I shall jaunt you with tidbits of passerbys, you know?
Haha! Everyone calls me Peppino, and I sell spaghetti until my card.
Everyone, they call me... No, I cannot do it. This is ridiculous.
Oh, Daily, how charming. You've made lots of new friends here, I see.
Yes, and when we're released, we're all going to strike it rich together.
Doing what? I mean, how long will he be in jail, though? He impersonated
Yeah.
a police officer.
Also, how will she pay her bills while her husband's in jail?
Yeah, that too. They have kids, too.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he took really good care of her, got her
He
jewels
did.
and everything.
When I was accepted on the foreign study tour, I knew exactly what path I had to take, and however it might have ended, I knew that I wanted you there to see it. If I ended up in the dock, there was no one I would have rather had defending me. But now, thanks to you, there's a new path I want to take. I'm sure we'll meet again in the courtroom, my friend. Until then, I leave Kuruma in your care. Announce a sequel already, Capcom! It's been years!
Oh my gosh.
This game came out in 2017 in Japan. It's 2021. Come on! 2022, we're announce the sequel.
We made some tea, Naruhodo-san. It's important that you rest while you can. Once we arrive in Japan, you shall be busy establishing a new office. I'm so delighted we will be accompanying you after all. All your talents have been recognized by a great detective. Because you really are the greatest of lawyers, Ryunosuke. A great ace attorney, some might say.
Ah! She said the name of the game.
The great ace attorney. It's Ryunosuke.
That's right.
He's the great ace attorney.
Yep. Aww, I can't take any more of the fills.
Picture. Yay!
There's the cat! I was wondering where the cat was.
Waggy.
That's right.
Yawn. Meow.
Good times.
Okay, finally.
Finally, we get to
So,
the actual ending credits now.
After this, then there's like some extra weird stuff.
Yeah, okay, so tomorrow, guys, we're going to be starting what's known as the extra cases that take place in between the main story of the game. And they're just like, I guess they're like called anecdotes or I don't know. They're about 45-minute story-based quests only. There's like no like presenting evidence or anything like that. It's all dialogue. And it's just more time with the characters over the course of in between the adventures. Stuff that they couldn't fit into the main game because they didn't want the overall story to be too long. Even though this was probably one of the longest Ace Attorney games of all time. They added like some side story because these characters are just so endearing. There's like 10 side stories. 45 minutes in length. What we're going to do is we'll be doing 2 episodes a day in the like... We'll pick two cases, so it'd be like actually might even be able to do 3 because they're only about 45 minutes each. That'd be like almost 2 hours for 3 cases. So then we'll be done with Ace Attorney officially by like probably Tuesday, I think would be a fair assumption.
That's cool.
Yep. But the thumbnail will be
yeah.
changing because this story's done. So I'm gonna create a new thumbnail design for these special cases. That way people can easily find them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this shows you all the characters and stuff that happened and things like that. I thought this was expertly done, though. This is probably one of my favorite Ace Attorneys. And we do know for a fact that Susie and Naruhodo do get together because their descendant is Phoenix Wright, who shares both of their qualities, which is kind of cute.
Yeah. Ace Attorney, yep. Or yeah,
But
Phoenix Wright shares
the
both
fact
of their
that he goes
qualities.
back to Japan with her and they open up an agency together, they could totally make a third game. They just haven't yet. Like I said, this game released in Japan. It was very well received. Like the Great Ace Attorney Adventures Resolve. And then this game was actually supposed to release as a collection in either 2019 or 2020.
Why do I want to see
but
them
it was
go
delayed.
I want to see them travel to Italy or France.
You want to see them travel the world?
Yeah. And open up in another country, make it kind of interesting.
Why did Holmes stay behind? Doesn't make any sense.
Or they could make it really fun in Japan.
Oh, because
too.
Iris was in the game constantly. Oh, I see. He's hanging out with Watson.
They're doing their dance.
They're doing different dances though. Their
Yeah.
dance of deduction.
Oh, it was very interesting having Shomes and Mikitoba together.
Okay, he just did a Japanese pose. I'm trying to remember what the clapping.
He's clapping for us. Thank you, Strongheart. I mean, he worked hard. But...
He was a bad guy.
Yeah, actually, Gregson really wasn't a bad guy, but he did a bad thing.
I mean, we don't know how many assassinations he helped carry out.
Yeah.
It was years. Like, there was 10
You're
years of
right.
people that were being killed in the courtroom.
Yeah, you're right. If you're even involved in that, even once, you're kind of a bad person. I mean, when you like sign up for a retail job, they say, "Have you ever stolen anything, even a paperclip or a pencil?" It's like,
Oh my gosh.
wow. It's like,
If you've
well-
stolen a paperclip, you can't work here.
yeah, they have those kind of questionnaires online.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see your personality. Like, it's really weird. But it's like, think about that compared to like what these people did, assassinating everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well,
Expertly done. They're back in Japan together. That's sweet. Say to be continued.
compared to
Something.
what we just went through, I feel like that other prosecutor from Japan isn't really hard to.
What, Skeletor?
I feel like he won't be too hard to take down. We had to go against Clint Van Seeks. We had to go against Asogi and the other crazy guy.
That's a cool picture too.
Stupid trophy thing is in our way. There we go.
We got it.
And Lord Strongheart. 3 tremendous people we had to face in the courtroom and take down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. So they changed the picture. So, like I was telling you guys, tomorrow starts the special contents of the game.
Wow, I'm just thinking back from the very first case, Luke. Remember when Ryunosuke was handed with that case from that one guy who was corrupt?
Mm-hmm.
And Strongheart was like, whatever, it doesn't matter if, you know, he's like, oh, I feel bad that I feel bad that I defended a guilty man, and the guy was just like, it doesn't matter because he killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what were you gonna
So
say?
tomorrow starts the escapades, and we will be doing. These are basically like little side stories that are about 45 minutes to 30 minutes in length. So we'll be doing a couple of them at a time in each the live streams, and then they also have a special. Oh, we could actually change the costumes. Whoops! We never did that.
Oops, there were costume changes.
Yeah,
We could do it on the side story. What is going on with Holmes'
These
costume?
outfits are only available for use in the Great Ace Attorney 2. So yeah, you could change.
Wow,
Susie's
Susie looks
attire.
weird.
She looks kind of cute. She looks like Iris, and he looks like I don't know who he looks.
I
like.
don't know who he's supposed to look like.
I don't know who he's supposed to look like. I mean, I guess they all
I don't
look
know what
like
his costume's supposed to look
Holmes a little bit. I don't know.
Holmes looks like some kind of like Japanese rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. They have like their English version of their costumes, and then he looks like a Japanese person.
Yep.
With a little fox mask. Oh wow, look at all the different.
We didn't get all the medals, but we did pretty good. That was our first time. That was a blind playthrough. So thank you everybody for watching.
And thanks for helping us.
Yes. Sonic will be starting up at 8 o'clock. We're gonna break for some dinner and kind of rest our voices a little bit, and then we'll see you guys for Sonic. And then I will be doing Marvel Future Found whatever tonight as well. So yeah, it's back to normal streams tonight.
Thanks everyone. We got 190 likes. Thank you guys so much.
Well done, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yep. Don't forget. Oh, someone was telling people in the chat. Don't forget, we have other. If you guys liked these Ace Attorney, we did the other Ace Attorney.
We did the original Ace
collection.
Attorney collection. Yep.
So please go look for that on our channel because that was a lot of fun. We did Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney collection years ago. The entire collection.
Actually, in every description of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, if you scroll through it, you will find that there is a link to the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy Guide. The whole thing.
Yeah, and
So,
that was really fun.
you don't have to go scouring our channel. You can actually check the episode descriptions. It's listed underneath become an official member. It says more Ace Attorney with lots of stars.
If you liked our live streams, then you'll like that even more, because whenever I messed up on a line or something, Luke would make me redo it, and we'd have to sit there until we got it right, and then he'd edit it all together, so it sounded really good.
They were shorter episodes, too. They're like 30, 40-minute episodes. There's over 140 episodes of that series, something like that.
Alright, guys. Thanks
Quite
so
a
much
bit.
for watching.
Alright, see you guys on Sonic. Bye!
God bless, happy gaming. See ya!